Good morning. Well, actually, it's 12. It's just a little after 12 now. Never mind. Good afternoon. Let's shift the gears here. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're doing well, finding yourself in a good place, and hopefully a good time right now. Today, we're going to dive into Tango 1. This is from Barbara Thompson's Paraphernalia, which was released in 2000. We're checking out this track as was suggested and sponsored by Harry. Harry, thank you so much for sending this one over for the request. I truly appreciate that. I was going to mention that Barbara Thompson, her name sounds familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. So I did look her up really quick because I know she sounded familiar, but I just couldn't picture it. But we have heard she was featured in Kaleidoscope of Rainbows from Neil Ardley. She's in that album and one of the personnel. So I just knew that her name looked familiar. I see that she's played with Colosseum. We haven't covered a lot from them, but we've covered a little bit from Colosseum, Man for Man's Earth Band. I don't think we've heard of their Rod Argent. It's just her name. I feel like maybe we've seen her somewhere else. Don't quote me. I don't know, but her name looks more familiar than just that. Anyways, let's go ahead and listen to this track. It's the first track on the album, of which the first four are all tangos here. Have we listened to her before? Is that what I'm thinking? She just seems more familiar than I'm thinking. No, okay, I'm thinking of a different Barbara we'll listen to. Okay, so I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and tango. It takes two, at least you and me. Here we go. Catch the rhythm. The violin sax pairing. Piano's making a statement back there. Ooh. The drums and piano. This is a cool, mesmerizing, kind of trippy piece of jazz. Drop out the bass and piano, take it from here for a second. It's a big swing swing to that section there. That was a smooth transition. Fast notes. Really great drumming with the way it's like shifting in its groove a little bit. Okay, that's a track that's really interesting. For some reason, the time signature, which I was just following the shaker. At a certain point, I just started to follow the shaker. The time signature that's being played, I don't know what it is. Couldn't count it. I stopped trying to after a while. It feels like it stays the same. There's no changes, like really, as far as I can tell, it really stays the same for the most part, besides some spaces and fills. But the instrumentation around it feels like it's constantly shifting in this very clinical and methodical way. Like it's a very clean shift. The professionalism of them all come across really cool because even in those shifts, it feels like they are all such a tight technical team. Like in the way that they masterfully play with each other. The violin from Billy Thompson. I love that violin, especially the pairing of it with the saxophone. Of course, Thompson's playing the sax. And I just thought like there was a moment in there, kind of near the first half, that they both played together and it sounded so cool. Like it was just a really great moment, that combination and the particular tones in how they performed as well. The drumming from Heisman is also really interesting because that's what I felt was a big part of the shifting that was happening. There's something about his drumming. He locks into this groove and he carries it forward, but it feels like every so often he's thinking, let me play around with this a little bit. Let me take A and put it after B, and let me take D and put it before A, but keep the same rhythm. But like he plays around with it a little bit, and in some of the fills that he throws in, there's a moment where he starts hitting the tom, like the floor tom, very hard, and then that's accented by the piano, which the piano is being performed by Peter Lemire, and it was just like such a cool spark of a moment. And then they use that as a transition to lead into the next section and the following solo. So like it's little moments like that are done really, really subtly. And on a first listen, I can't even catch most of them. On a first listen, I can tell you this track is like on a first listen, like mesmerizing. It's really enjoyable, but it's hard for me to like latch onto. I need to give it a second listen to really be able to capture a lot of the foreshadowing of, movement transitions and the way that the groove locks in and stuff. But I can tell you a few really cool moments in here. Okay, here's the violin and sax. That. And see how behind the sax and the violin, which are playing in tandem right on top of each other, you have the drums and the piano kind of creating this stormy cloud around it, kind of creating this tension before them that's building off like little cannon shot. And then you move into the solo from Thompson, which is just beautiful. And there's an air of like an exotic kind of mystique to the way that she plays saxophone as well, which I think sounds really cool in here. Some of the way that she blows in there and controls the volume really adds a sort of mysteriousness to it. And listen to the drumming. Listen to Heisman. He's very, very active back there. Maybe that's why I feel like the drumming is constantly shifting in a particular way, because he's very, very active back there. And I would actually say the same thing about Lemire on the keyboards on this track. And then I love the violin solo from Thompson, Billy Thompson. That section there, most of the solo is kind of like, not so fastly played and stuff. But when he does that, I feel like that's almost like a guitarist going, doing the long sustained notes in their solo. And then I know they do a Van Halen to go, and then kind of go back to it and go. I feel like that was the moment that Thompson did that little run right there on that solo. But like, listen to this, the scenery behind the solos. Looking at the title, I can hear it as a tango, but this is a tangled tango. This is a more abstract painting version of a tango. This is, I don't know, there's something about the actual backing sections that I think are like, it just sounds really cool. It sounds uncanny, but in a moth to a flame kind of way. Like it's very drawing you in. It kind of sucks you into it, but it sounds like a little uncanny of something more familiar. I think it's really cool. Like it maybe sounds like I'm not enjoying it. No. I liked it. It just sounds like really, I don't know, there's something about it. And can I tell you, in some ways, it's even catchy. I think that this is a catchy piece of jazz. That beat that Heisman's playing, like I don't know what it is, but there is something about that that's grabbing me. I just happen to see these notes here. In the last few years, tango seems to have gently invaded my life. Several articles in the press and a couple of films alerted me to this extraordinary musical tradition, which seemed to share many of the things I love about jazz and contemporary music. The feelings and the rhythms floated around in my head and kept returning to haunt me. Thompson's tangos are the inevitable results, and this is directly from Barbara Thompson. I think that this was such a cool track. There's something like exotic and mysterious about it. I like that. Let me know what you guys thought. Maybe that's the paraphernalia part. I know that's the band playing with her. You always have the artist and a name, and that's what the band name is. So I guess they are the Paraphernalia back there. Let me know what you guys thought, of course, below in the comment section. I appreciate you all being here. Harry, thank you so much for sending in the request as well. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye. That I'm sitting here talking while the credits are rolling. I thought about that. I really like the way that she reinvigorated and recreated the tango rhythm in this particular style. I think it works incredibly well and it feels very, very unique to the band. Okay, that's it. I just had a final point. Bye, guys.